iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Show. FulltimeFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Full-Time Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto, get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, let's get to last night's game. Man, if you're a Bengals fan at this point of your life, you may need to move on because it's just terrible. It's terrible. There was a glimmer where the Bengals played well this year. A glimmer. Was it week 1? But since then, it's been terrible. Andy Dalton, 21 for 37, 171 yards. 8 sacks. 8. I mean, that's unforgivable. How can you not find 5 offensive linemen who play? You know this is your team's problem. Fix it. Joe Mixon, I pity this guy because he can't find any open running room. There's no running room. And I mean, the receivers, none of them had more than 6 targets. And Auden Tate is your leading receiver. How are you winning when Tyler Boyd is not your leading receiver? Or John Ross? It's bad. For Pittsburgh, I got to congratulate them on playing just well enough to be good. Mason Rudolph, 24 for 28, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he only threw, like 1 deep pass, 2 deep passes all game. Seriously. Everything else was dinking and dunking. They finally used Jalen Samuels properly. Finally, this is the kind of player he is. This is what you need to be doing. He had 3 passing attempts. He had 10 rushes. He had 8 receptions. That's what you need. Except one problem. You got to feed the ball to Juju. Juju is basically a decoy. They gave it to Connor. They gave it to Deontay Johnson. They gave it to Samuels. But we need more Juju. Okay? I'm just throwing that out there. Juju's your star. Juju's your star. You got to give him the football. It's fact. If I own Juju, which I do in a couple leagues, I'm nervous right now. I'm really nervous. Because they got to make sure that he gets a football. All right, it is Waiver Wire Tuesday. But before I get there, let's take a look at some news and notes that you need to know. James Conner. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. Jalen Samuels is a big player next week. He's going to be a big player next week because of Connor's ankle. Just throwing that out there. Michael Gallup might play this week. They haven't ruled him out, so let's keep our eyeballs on him. All right? That's the major news right now, and that Chase Daniel's going to start and Mitch Trubisky will not. And the Panthers plays Kawan Short on injured reserve. He's done for the season. All right, back to Waiver Wire Tuesday. Quarterbacks. Sam Darnold may not be back this week, but it's going to be soon. You might want to own him. Somebody, I'm sure, dropped him in your league. Pick him up. Gardner Minshew. Uncle Rico. You know what? Say what you will. The guy gets about 210, 220 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns a week. That won't kill you now. In today's NFL, that won't kill you. Be careful with Marcus Mariota, please. Mariota played very well against Atlanta, but now they play Buffalo this week. Do I feel the same about that? Yeah, I don't think so. Matt Barkley, really good chance Matt Barkley starts this week. I believe the Bills are on bye next week, so you can get Josh Allen 2 weeks off after that wicked hit he took. I don't hate Barkley this week, but I'm not, unless I'm desperate, I'm not playing him. I am desperate in the Scott Fish Bowl. I picked Barkley up last week. What a genius I was! Just throwing that out there. Chase Daniel, I like Chase Daniel just a little bit. I don't like Mitch Trubisky at all. Chase Daniel might actually be a guy you could look at this week against Oakland in London. Always high-scoring games in London. For Washington, I don't know whether I would start Dwayne Haskins. Maybe Colt McCoy gets a start. If you're that desperate to play Redskin, maybe you either have too many Redskins on your team or your team sucks. Just throwing that out there for you. All right, at running back, I need to tell you when I'm right and I need to tell you when I'm wrong. I was wrong about Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones looks pretty good. If he's on your waiver wire, which he might be, you got to go get him. Maybe there's a 2% chance that Kenyon Drake is on your waiver wire because people don't want anything associated with Miami. Go get Kenyon Drake. Ito Smith. Lansing Ito. You know what? He found the end zone. Devonta Freeman didn't. I'm just throwing it out there that if Freeman gets hurt, Ito Smith is relevant. Chase Edmonds, David Johnson was catching a lot of balls. Chase Edmonds was in the backfield. If David Johnson should get hurt, he becomes a Wayne Gallman type. That's right, I said it. How about Raquel Armstead? Look, Leonard Fournette looked great last week. But Raquel Armstead, if you watch that, you know what you said to yourself, or at least I said to myself, if Leonard Fournette should get hurt, that guy's pretty good. So I might stash and cash him, not right now. Jordan Wilkins, another stash and cash. This is what we do now. We are waiver wire vultures. We get guys like Raquel Armstead and Chase Edmonds and Ito Smith, and we wait on an injury, and then we're sitting there. That's how we roll. If Devin Singletary's out there, you get him as well. Okay? He may sit out this week too because there's a bye week, but he's going to come back. And when he comes back, it's with a vengeance. All right, at wide receiver, Geronimo Allison. So let me talk about this for a second. He had a good week last week, but he's not a great player. He's a good player, but he's on a good team with a great quarterback. Right? You want good offenses. Good offenses equal points. Bad offenses don't. So I don't love Mohamed Sanu. I don't love Geronimo Allison, but they're on good offenses. Golden Tate for sure. If he's out there, you get him. Kiki Kuti, I think, is interesting. Houston's going to have to figure out their offense and throw some quick passes. Quick. Kuti should be the beneficiary of that. A.J. Brown is a guy that you should be looking at. Now, here's the problem with Tennessee. When Tennessee's winning, you don't see a lot of A.J. Brown at all. When Tennessee's losing, A.J. Brown becomes more relevant. So you got to watch for that as well. How about Zach Pascal and Chester Rogers and Paris Campbell? I like Pascal, I like Rogers, I like Campbell. I really like Campbell the most. I think he's the most interesting to me because I think he's the best player with the most upside. Okay? So keep your eyeballs on there. Indianapolis, if T.Y. Hilton is out, they're gonna need somebody. Preston Williams is interesting to me, and Albert Wilson is interesting to me. Albert Wilson was kept out on purpose because he's not 100%. They're on bye week this week. When they come back, Albert Wilson is their number one receiver. And I think Preston Williams is their number two receiver, not Devontae Parker. So a lot of times on waiver wires, you can get these guys at a discount because they're not playing this week, right? You get them on the cheap because people don't want to go after a guy who to sit them, right? It's just counterintuitive. Oh, why would I pick up a guy if he's not playing? That's a stupid idea. Okay, but I can get him for less because otherwise he's going to cost me double. Next week he costs you double. All right, tight end has been a very difficult position. Let's be looking at Jimmy Golden Grahams. Chris Herndon due back. Now, I know Herndon's going to be a big zero with Luke Falk, but Sam Darnold's probably a week or two away. Darnold to Herndon, you might want to own that. Ben Watson coming on back for New England. Have you held on to him for this long? If not, is he on your waiver wire? How about Dawson Knox? Don't love him this week. They're on bye next week, but he's an interesting guy to stash in the second half of the season. How about Ricky Seals-Jones? Now, Ricky Seals-Jones, just remember a couple of seasons ago for Arizona, was a very good tight end, and all of a sudden he just did a disappearing act. Well, maybe he's a guy that needs to be owned. I think he is. So, once again, have I given you any big name this week? No, I haven't. Why am I talking like this? Because I don't want you to overspend. There's no one guy out there this week like Wayne Gallman last week that you had to go all in on. Now, people will overspend on these guys, but you shouldn't. because I didn't give you any name of a guy that we couldn't live without. Do I want Jordan Wilkins? Sure, I do. But I'm not going to pay $127 for him. I'll pay $27 for him. And if it works out, great. But this doesn't look like the week to go all in. It just doesn't. So I need you to be judicious. Remember, this is a marathon and not a sprint. We talk about this all the time. This is a marathon and not a sprint. On the waivers, spend your money judiciously. When do I need to spend my money? When do I go all in? It's a lot like a poker tournament. When do you push those chips all in? When do you go in and say, this is my hand? Or when you're like, yeah, I don't know about that. Be careful. I don't think this is a week to put my chips in on Ito Smith. I don't. I think this is a week to see if I can sneak a hand by, maybe calling a few times and seeing if I get lucky. That seems smarter to me. I think that's the move to make. So I want you to be judicious and careful because I want to save enough money for the weeks when the good players out there, because there will be another Wayne Gallman. There always is another Wayne Gallman. And you have to have enough money to be able to get that guy. Because it's going to be 4 weeks from now. It's going to be week 9. And somebody's going to be out there and you'll be like, oh, I need this guy. I'm 6-3 and I'm close to making the playoffs. And now I need that $300. You're not going to have it when you need it the most. I need you to start thinking that way. Waiver wires are a state of mind. Also, if you're in a league that has a waiver wire and then you lose your pick, well, do you want to lose your first overall pick for Ito Smith? I don't think so. Do you want to lose it for Gardner Minshew? I don't think so. Those aren't the guys we lose it for. So wait, you have the number 1 pick? Wait till the right guy's there. Then go in and pounce. You'll be so much happier that you did that. I promise you. Okay? But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. So look, I'm working on a start-sit column for Sports Illustrated. That will be up tomorrow. I will also go inside the box scores like I always do on this very podcast tomorrow. All right? Look, see if we can find any nuggets to help us win our fantasy football leagues. Please check us out at si.com/fantasy for a lot of news and articles and things that you need. Also, check us out at fulltimefantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. This is Dr. Roto saying be well, take care.
Thanks for listening to Full Time Fantasy. There's never been a better time to join and go full-time. Visit fulltimefantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time.